What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar thus far as we have big data coming out for tomorrow, what the options chain is suggesting for SPY, and what's happening with the earnings that just came out. But before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and this offer ends today, so check it out before they run out. Today is your last chance to sign up for this offer. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to SPY. SPY has been on a very, very strong uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. And we're basically not only above 502, but we're approaching the all-time highs. So the question is, will SPY get up there? What's going to affect it? I'm going to break all of that down in this video. Looking at the economic calendar, I just want to call out the fact that we have the PPI report coming out for tomorrow. That is going to be very important as this can affect CPI data, at least to some extent. So what I mean by this is that when PPI comes out, it's going to be an hour before market open at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be looking at PPI month over month, and then the CPI, not CPI, PPI, and then core PPI. Excuse me, guys, not CPI. This is similar to CPI because PPI is like the wholesale version of inflation. CPI is for the consumer side. This is on the producer side. And PPI tends to be a leading indicator for CPI. So make sure you watch that carefully. It might cause some volatility. We're expecting PPI to be up 0.1%. Core PPI is supposed to be up 0.1% month over month for each of those. And then year over year, we're expecting about 1.6 to 1.7% for core. We'll see how that ends up looking. If there's an increase, it's not going to be the best of news, but we'll just be very patient. After PPI comes out, we have Barr from the Fed giving a speech at 9:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time before the market opens. And once the market is open, we're going to be waiting for the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report. We have the 5-year inflationary expectations and other things like that. So watch and see what that ends up causing. Besides that, the last thing is we have Daly from the Fed giving a little speech. Everything was very minor once PPI is out, so we'll see how this affects the markets. When the market closes, that's going to be it, and the market's going to be closed for 3 days. It's going to be closed on Monday as well because of the fact that it's for President's Day. It's going to be a holiday, so the market's going to be closed for Monday. So we have a 3-day holiday ahead of us. It's going to be very fun, very interesting, and we'll see how the market ends up performing. When it comes to earnings that just came out, I just want to mention that we have DraftKings, Coinbase, and Roku that just announced their earnings. Coinbase did very, very well. It's citing its stable coins and it's looking very strong. They beat on EPS. They also beat on revenue, and we're looking at some very, very nice growth. So for Q4, revenue was $953.8 million, surpassing the $629 million from the previous quarter and expectations of $820 million. They also beat on EPS of $1.04 per share. That's well ahead of the expectations of 2 cents per share. Beating on EPS and revenue is good and all, but don't forget that they're also the custodian of 8 of the 11 spots for the Bitcoin ETF issuers, meaning it has more cash flow from that avenue. That is bullish news for them. That's very, very awesome. And we're looking at some strong guidance as well. So they beat on EPS and revenue, strong guidance, and lots of different revenue streams. Very, very big beats. Very, very nice price action from Coinbase. This is up like 13% in the after hours, pushing up very, very nicely. It's still pushing right now, approaching crazy high numbers. On top of this, we had DraftKings, which announced their earnings. Very mixed overall. We had EPS of 29 cents per share. That's a slight improvement, but the revenue is not the best, especially for Q4 at $1.24 billion. Their overall guidance was kind of mixed, so mixed earnings, and that's the reason why the share price is down a bit. And Roku is not doing as well. We actually saw them looking at sliding user revenue for Q4. Their EPS was okay. Revenue was a little bit down, being down 4% year over year. Their overall earnings were kind of mixed, so we did see not the strongest of earnings from Roku. So once again, Roku's was kind of weak. DraftKings was kind of choppy and mixed, and Coinbase was very, very strong. So that's pretty much it for earnings for now. For tomorrow, we just have like Air Canada and then like Cinemark. That very, very minor earnings, nothing else for the rest of the week. For the options chain for SPY, I just want to mention that tomorrow is going to be February 16th. We have just under 1.3 million calls expiring tomorrow, and we have over 2.84 million puts expiring. So there's a 2.21 puts to call ratio. The majority of people have puts, and there are almost 3 million puts in total expiring. That is absolutely insane. As a market maker, if I were one of them, I would hold the market up to hurt as many people as possible. So they're incentivized to either hold the market up or even squeeze shorts again. So we'll just have to see how it goes. As far as SPY goes, as far as Tesla, the QQQ goes, these things look bullish. They look like they're going to push higher. But here's the only concern I have. In the morning, we have PPI coming out, and that could be a little bit capricious, a little bit unpredictable. I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm not 100% sure. So we just want to be very careful, very patient with this. We'll see what this looks like at first. Besides that, if we kind of like throw PPI out the window and just look at the charts, we look really bullish. It looks like SPY is going to push for at least 503.5. If that breaks 505.25 as our next target. If we fail to break that, watch 501 as critical support. If we lose that, 499 could be coming next. However, nonetheless, the chart looks bullish, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and it looks like we could be testing the all-time high very soon tomorrow. I think 503 is coming, and if that breaks, 505 is next. We'll see what we get from PPI. It tends to lead CPI, so we'll see what that looks like. But besides that, I'd say the charts still look bullish, so it does favor that end. Tesla looks like it's going to run because of the Elon Musk news and also because of this. Technicals look very bullish with this nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. We have this left shoulder here. We have the head down here, the right shoulder forming. I could see this thing pushing for 207 very, very soon. If that breaks, our next target is 212. Those are going to be our breakout areas. For support, if we lose 200, it's going to be retracing all the way down to 198, then 195. Overall, I think this is looking bullish, especially because when you look at Tesla on the daily, the daily time frame, we're still looking pretty strong. 207 is the 200 EMA on the 4-hour, but the daily is more significant because you could see we have this gap to fill at 207, so we have some gap resistance there. Then we have 212 at the 50 EMA. That's the full measured move from the inverse head and shoulders. So the chart looks bullish, very daily bullish close. Same thing on very bullish daily close, Same thing on SPY and the QQQ, very bullish looking closes. So far, we favor the bulls by some margin. On the QQQ, we're looking bullish. This thing is trying to uptrend, especially thanks to Coinbase exploding. I could see this continuing to push. Look for a little retracement at 434, then a bounce, and then 436.75, which is where this imbalance is. It looks like it's trying to make a full-on recovery. Now, if we lose 432, we could turn a bit more bearish, but today we did come below it before bouncing. So we're going to be watching that as critical support and watch to see if we could break 436. If we close above that, we're still bullish. The chart looks bullish, so I anticipate some more upside, so watch for that very carefully. On Nvda, we're kind of mixed. This thing is kind of choppy. Watch 720 to 725 as our support zone. We actually bounced off of this many times for the last 2 days. For resistance, watch 740 to 745. So far, we're kind of stuck in this range. I do think it's going to try to rebound a little bit towards 740, then come back down and trade sideways. So we'll see how it goes from here. But overall, I just want to call out that this could still look like a very sloppy looking cup and handle. It is still a possibility. I think it might rebound a little bit. To be really bullish, you need to see it break above 745, and we're easily going to push in the 750s. I'll be watching this carefully just to be safe. For Aapl stock, it was looking weak, but we got a big bullish catalyst. They basically announced that they have an AI tool that's going to rival that of Microsoft. So that's some big news. We'll see if this ends up helping them out. This has been on a very nice downtrend. We're going to be watching to see if we can bounce and break 185. If we break this, 186.5 is next. I think that this could also be forming an inverse head and shoulders with this left shoulder here, the head down here. We could retrace a little bit to 183.5 and then rebound and start pushing. If we break 184, we're bullish. If we lose 182, we can turn bearish. In my opinion, I think it's going to favor the bulls. With that being said, guys, I'm going to try to be really quick with the ending because I recorded this before, but I had a really, really big issue, so I have to re-record this. SoFi looks kind of bullish. Going to be looking for a breakout. As long as we hold 8.5, we're bullish. It could retrace to 8.3 and then bounce, but overall the trend is still bullish. I think it's eventually going to reach $9 plus. So it could retrace a bit and then bounce, but ultimately I still think it's going to push more. Palantir, as long as we hold 25.27 plus is coming, we're looking bullish overall in a very, very nice uptrend. For the IWM Russell 2000, We have resistance around 205, so we're going to be watching that very carefully. I think that's going to be approaching 205.5 very soon, then 207. There's a nice inverse head and shoulders right here. I think it could push up higher. Look for a little bit more upside, and we'll see how it does from there. For Microsoft is looking a little bit weaker. Got this nice rejection. We're going to be watching to see if we could hold this support. If we lose 406, watch 402 as support. It might retest that, not looking the strongest. For Shopify, going to be looking for a push up higher as we're holding support. Watch 85 and 87 above that, followed by 90. In my opinion, with the bullish PPO crossover, we could push higher. For AMD, we look like we might be testing 175 and 173 before we try to bounce. So look for a little more dropping before this thing tries to base. I still see that coming. For the VIX, I just want to call out that this is looking kind of bearish. If we lose 13.68. If we lose 13.68 should be coming. If we lose that, we have a gap to fill down in the 12s. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. We are looking a little bit more bearish nonetheless. For the dollar index, if we lose 104, we're going to be sinking even lower into the 103s. This is looking kind of weak right here, so we'll see if this ends up breaking down. The trend is looking bearish, so this is technically bullish for the markets. For Coinbase, we're breaking out towards 187, excuse me. If we break this, 190 is coming next. We still look very strong after some very strong earnings. That's good for them. Google's looking kind of weak. If we lose support right here at 142, I'm expecting 140 very soon, basically. So it's looking kind of weak. Amazon, looking pretty decent. If we lose 168, then 165 is coming. So I could be looking for a little retracement. Watch 168. If we lose that, we turn bearish. If we hold it, we bounce. For Meta is still on a very, very nice uptrend. It's still pushing and pushing and pushing. We also broke our high. Look for a little retracement at 481. If we hold this, we could bounce off 480 to 481 and push back up to the 488 to 490 area. If we lose 480, we were going to retrace back down to 472. So that's going to be a critical support. I think it might test that and bounce. So watch that carefully. Nonetheless, guys, the market is still bullish. I do favor more upside on the charts, but just to be safe, I want to make it very clear we have to wait and see what happens with our PPI report. So wait and see what happens in the morning. I'll be reporting for this tomorrow morning. I'll see you guys very soon then. I'm making this video very quickly. Sorry if I kind of rushed a little bit because my first video got deleted. I had a very bad issue. I managed to fix the issue. And with that being fixed, I just want the best for everyone. Have a good night. Do what you have to do. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you and peace out.